Hi guys, I'm Conrad with Tools Today, and today we're going to be making a desk for my room. The base of this desk is going to be made out of 1-inch square stock, which is what this is, and I think it's gonna look pretty cool. So I designed this desk in Google SketchUp, and you probably won't be seeing me right now. You'll be seeing the desk design. But the first piece that I'm gonna cut is gonna be at 50 inches. So let's lower the bandsaw. And then we can get a measure. Perfect. Right on the 50. Now, let's cut. Okay, so we are going to do a jump cut in which I have cut all of the materials for the legs, and we will get to welding, unless there's something interesting in between. Oh yeah, check that. .32, right on the money. Okay, so as you can see, we've got all of the metal cut up. Now, since there are burrs on the edges, we're gonna clean the edges up. Okay, with all the edges cleaned up, I think we're about to get ready to weld these things together. What I want to do is get them in place, get a square on there, because it is very important that all of these legs are completely square. Without further ado, let's get it all welded up. Without further ado, let's start grinding. Gotcha! I think I've decided on the wood I want to use for the top of the desk, but it's kind of a pain to get to, so that's what I'm going to do now. So this is the wood I want, and it is oak, so I think it will be nice, but I've still got a ways to go before I can get it all out. do some math. I have like 22 and a half, 23 inches to fill by 50. All right, so I have 170. So figure three pieces to go across per board. I have 7 and 3/4. Wait, 7 1/4 per board. So I'd say I'm gonna need just over 1 board to fill the entire desk. Whew. Okay, all of that for just over 1 board. So I need 50 inches for the desk. So in order to get them into a piece that I can fit on the workbench to cut, I'm gonna mark them at 55. $55, 110, and 155. Then I'll cut them down into individual smaller pieces in a few minutes. So since I'm gonna finish them on the chop saw later, I'm just gonna make rougher cuts with the circular saw right now. There's number 1. Yes, I could. I don't think I'll To start, I just want to flush up this end, not take too much off, but just enough to get a nice square starting point on every board. There we go. I'm not going to do both ends. I'm going to do one end and then do the second one later. If you notice, I cut nice and slow so that there's no rip out on the bottom piece or on the bottom edge. That's because I care about what my stuff looks like. I've got the M18 sander and I'm gonna start sanding down all these boards. So since apparently my microphone was not on for the last version of what I just did, or what I'm about to do, I will show you what I'm doing and hopefully do it better than the first time. Put just a little bit of glue in each biscuit hole, just enough to hold it. And also not spill out a bunch. Now, put the biscuits in. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm gonna glue up everything else that I think needs glued up. grab clamps. Now, glue up the rest of this. And in the last shot I mentioned this is Titebond 3, the best glue I've used. First one to go down will be this one. Then I almost messed that up kind of bad. I need to flip it and go this way. Perfect. So now put this right there. This on top. Grab a couple of these clamps. Oh, yeah. What I'm doing right now will eliminate the curve that is forming. And that just ensures that it will dry straight. Okay, so once these two are dry, I'm going to put them both together and we will have my complete desk top, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, so it is the next morning and well, I think our glue up is done, so it's time to start taking these clamps off. As you guys can see, glue ups take a lot of clamps, so just beware of that if you're planning on doing any big wood projects like this. Nice, this came off nicely. Okay. So I think I'm gonna do a sand, and this is just the bottom, so I'm not that worried about it, but I definitely do want to sand it. Now I'm using the corded circular saw because the consistency and power and speed will help to not rip up this board too much. Very good. Looks like all of my edges sealed up very well. I always like to see that. Also, very, very little tear out on the top, which is always nice to see. So flip it, and well, first I gotta make sure it's square. Nice, that's as close to square as you're gonna get out of me. Well, I just cut it, but I forgot to hit the record button on my camera, so I'm really sorry about that. But anyway, I cut it to length. It's now 50 inches wide. I'm gonna do the final sand and then wood fill it and then go work on the steel part, so yeah. So I think it's time to start on the wood filling. I can see that most of these cracks are gonna need at least some, probably the whole way across. So there's this wood filler I'm gonna use, just a little, this thing, scraper, whatever you wanna call it. And you're just gonna go get it into the cracks. Make sure it covers everything up. You don't want to leave excess there because you are going to have to sand this off after it dries. So yeah, just gonna go down the lines and put wood filler on. Okay, with that all wood filled, I'm gonna give it about 20 minutes or so to dry, then I can sand it all down, and if it needs a second round of wood filling, I'll do that. But in the meantime, we're gonna work on grinding the legs down for the actual desk. Now that all the wood filler is dry, it's time to start sanding. So I know that I want to route the edge of the boards for the desk, but I'm not sure by how much. So I'm just going to do a few tests on a scrap piece of wood to find out what I like. I mean, I kind of like that, but I think it's probably, well, I don't know. I want to test at least a couple other pieces first. Here's a smaller but still round over bit, so let's pop this guy in. By the way, this is the M18 cordless router. Pretty powerful for a little body, and I like it. So that is just a little bit less. The bit was actually in there too deep. Maybe that will be a little better. I think I'm gonna go even smaller. Okay, I think I like that. Not quite as deep as the first one or the second one, but enough to give it a nice bevel. So before I do any of the routing, I gotta decide which side will be the front, because I'm only gonna route 3 sides actually. And I think I like this side for the front. So, yeah. Okay, I like that. Now I just want to sand it a little bit and we'll be pretty much ready to stain, I think. I think we're ready to stain. Got this cherry stain. I think it'll look really nice when completed. On the bottom, I'm only gonna do a couple of inches in because no one is ever gonna see it, hopefully. So no need to go overboard. But I just wanna read exactly. Stir the contents thoroughly before use. Apply liberally with a brush or clean lint-free cloth. Apply the stain across the grain until the wood is saturated on top. Wipe the excess stain off in the direction of the wood grain. Do not let the stain dry before wiping excess. A second coat can be applied after 2 hours. Do not sand between coats. Definitely don't want to spill this stuff all over the floor. Okay. So then stir it. Interesting. Okay, I think I'm actually gonna cut this rag. Okay, but I do remember that you just dab the cloth in, get it wet enough, start rubbing it on with the cloth. so nice to see this wood come together like this after so much effort has gone into making this relatively little piece. It's always worth it though. Next morning, I really like the finish on this stain, so I think I'm gonna do a high build polyurethane coat or 2 on top, and after that we will be pretty much done. Okay, wow, that took forever, but it's finally here. Just my stir it around a little bit. Now, what this stuff is going to do is give the entire surface of my desk a nice, clear, thick finish. Okay, so the only way I'm gonna be able to make sure this thing is square is if I can get over here. Okay, so let's get a measure. 22, 22, 50, 50. It's actually a lot more straight than I thought. It's perfect, which is kind of a first for me, honestly. So the next step is to get this painted up and then get the top on it, and we'll be pretty much done. This has really come together better than I expected. So one of the things I haven't really talked about is that I want to put wireless charging inside of this desk. So one of the things I'm gonna have to do is route out a spot for this. I've done some testing, and this Apple MagSafe wireless charger can penetrate about 1/4 inch wood, but it's not very efficient, so I'm going to try and get it down to 1/8 an inch, and yeah, so I'm going to route it. Perfect. So obviously that's not exactly what the finished product will be like, but it is enough to test and see if it will work. So I want this to house both my laptop and charge the AirPods or phone or whatever. So figure, boom, typing away. I think I want it like right there. If this is the back edge, front edge, so yeah, except just on this side, because I do want it on the left side for whatever reason. Let's figure out exactly how wide the MagSafe charger is. 2 1/4. So let's go in order to clear the in order to clear the steel that'll be right there, I think I want to center the circle 5 inches out, like that. And then, I mean, just by looking at it, I can figure out like where I want it. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, next part is the nerve-wracking one. So I'm going to make sure. I think I want a little more to start with. I'm gonna make a few passes on this one because on the last one it was way more aggressive than it needed to be, taking out that huge chunk of wood. But with that set, I don't think I can avoid it any longer. So off camera, I got the wireless charger put in, as you can see, and it works nicely, but it's a bit hard to find exactly where it is. So I cut out this little circle on the Cameo, and I think that will help to show exactly where the wireless charger is. Second part. And then this is the important part, so I want to make sure that I get it right. Okay. So now we're going to apply it like that and rub it down. Okay, so now rip it up. Well, not like rip it up, but rip it up as in like up. And now this is the part you really want to get it down for. Sometimes I even use my AirPods case like this. Okay, you want to take it up like this. Boom, and now we've got our little sticker that if we put our stuff in the middle, it charges. And that is just a nice indicator to show you where your wireless charging is. I like that. Okay, so let's just move the, really cool wireless charging thing off to the side and uncover the next really cool thing I'm gonna do at this desk, which is some LED strip lights. So I've got the strip lighting and I've got the 24 watt universal dimming LED driver for the lights. So I'm gonna flip it around and get these things on. So hot glue gun is plugged in. Let's see if you can even, yeah, you can still see this. Move it up maybe a little bit. Pencil, right here. So it's gonna mark, I think like right there is good. More like right there. Okay, then right there. So that is where we want our strip lighting to be. Now this stuff actually has an adhesive on the back, but I like to put some hot glue down on there just to make sure, because I don't want to have to deal with this ever. So I want it to stay, and I'd rather put in the extra time when I'm out here putting in time than have to take it back out later and fix it. Okay, hot glue gun is warmed up. Now I'm gonna peel this little adhesive thing off, if I can. Okay, so now the sticky side is down. I'm just gonna put some hot glue right there. And let's start. Boom. Now, I can just work in increments. So now, gonna put the hot glue gun back to sit there, and our power supply for this, and I think I want that to go like right there, and then maybe maybe right there. That would still give me enough clearance for the legs. I mean, I would have to run this wire kind of like back and around, but that's not that big a deal. And then outlet. Yeah, I think here is gonna be my best bet for this thing. So, I mean, I can move that for now. Going to unscrew this. I really hope I'm remembering how to do this right. Kinda suck if I wasn't. Yep. Okay, so I need to decide how long I want this wire. So boom, comes back around, goes in. So like right there. Okay, so I want it cut there. Okay, now just work it out a little bit. Split it. There we go. Then there we go. There's one. There's two. Then positive and negative. Feet's right in there. I wonder if the screwdriver, yeah, the screwdriver will work. Oh, or not. I need a little, really little, Phillips. Yep. Okay, so now this one goes into the negative side. Okay, boom. And this pops back on. Two screws I used earlier go back in. And in case you're wondering, I am using Armacost lighting. It is the best stuff that I know of. So boom, let's just give that a test real quick. Plug it in here. Wow, that stuff is bright. Whew, maybe a little too bright. Okay, well, I am very happy with that result. So unplug that. That'll probably only get plugged in for special occasions, but it is really nice to know that it will work when I want it. So I need to get this fastened on. May as well go right there. Then probably get this glued down. First things first. Couple of short screws. Like it pops out of the top right now. Out of all of those steps. I think since this is going to be as permanent as I can make it, I'm just gonna do a little bit of hot glue in there. And this comes down, pops into that, and apply some pressure. Okay. Okay. Then final screw right on this side. Okay, well that is about as secure as I can make it. Then just a couple of dabs of glue along here to keep that where it should be. There we go. I think that's all I will need. So off camera, I finished the painting of this thing and it looks really good. I think I am ready to put these little felt tips on the bottom of it. 2 for each leg. Just because even though this thing is going to be on carpet for most of its foreseeable life, I do want them to be on there. Even if it's just for while it's on the garage floor out here. Perfect. Yeah, I like that. Nice solid steel frame. Nice and modern, sleek, out of the way. Now I think I can just drill some holes and that way I can screw up to the desk. Okay, wow, that was a long video, but now you have to look at me again. If you liked this video at any point in time, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you want in the next one. These videos take tons of time, so don't forget to do those 3 things I told you to.